Hello YouTube, this is Shadow Hero 90 and allow me to welcome you to my show, Sexism in Movies and TV. Now there are three reasons as to why I do this show. The first is because as someone who watches TV, and as a man, I really do think I should be able to watch an actual American show without constantly being offended and without feminism being crammed into everything. The second reason is that a lot of these shows are geared towards a younger audience, and it would really be good if anyone from Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon saw this and actually tried to make a decent role model for boys who's not a white knight, a complete sissy, a doormat, or basically someone who is worthy of the title hero. You know, to keep them from turning out like these pricks. Doormats and losers like these chumps. And my third reason for doing this show is because, I'll just say it, they're aimed towards children. And kids are very impressionable. If you put the wrong stuff in a show for kids, it's gonna send a lot of really messed up messages. Like convincing a boy that basically trying to have anything that's meant to be his is somehow a crime, or wanting time to himself is somehow a crime, or basically a little girl being convinced that she can assault neighborhood boys, younger brothers, and any little kid or male who's weaker than her, and that there will be no consequences. In fact, a lot of these shows do teach girls that they can do whatever they want and consequences do not apply to them. So, with that being said, feel free to enjoy the review. Okay, we all knew. Well, I said I was going to tackle this one, and now I am. Ghostbusters 2016. What can I say? It's terrible. It's misandric, and it's not funny. It's not funny or cool in any way. It's just feminist propaganda. They just made the Ghostbusters women. And normally, I would not have a problem with that if it wasn't for the fact that it was feminist propaganda. I did not see this movie. I don't need to see this movie to know that it's trash. Because, from what I hear from some very reliable sources, that this movie is garbage. It's trash. What made the original Ghostbusters work is the fact that they, unlike these feminist puppets, had no training. I don't know if they planned to fight ghosts in the original, but when I was little, I saw the original, and I liked it. It was likable. This movie is not. This movie is just feminist propaganda. The original Ghostbusters worked because they were funny, and that humor essentially came from the fact that they weren't trained. The fact that these women had been preparing to be Ghostbusters their entire lives takes away that humor. the Ghostbusters of the 80s were cool because they were a group of underdogs with no experience and didn't really know that much about ghost hunting. These women had trained for their entire lives and were very experienced. So we really don't get that much of an underdog, or in this case underdogs, or in this case under bitches, feeling of seeing them basically show up and save the world, even though they were the most unlikely candidates. Saving the world when you're essentially the least likely person to save the world is why the original Ghostbusters from the 80s was good. Ghostbusters 2016, they came out badass, feminist. Yeah, so watching the movie they'll save the world. I mean, if this movie was funny, which it's not, you'd have had these 4 circus clowns fail in their attempts at saving the world. It would have been a good twist. Okay, now I'm bringing up the horrible portrayal of the reverse gender version of their secretary. Now, I really wouldn't have cared if they hadn't have essentially portrayed him as the dumbest man on earth. Basically, they had a scene where I guess they were fighting a banshee, and this loser is so stupid that he covers his eyes because he wears glasses and apparently needed to clean them. And in the climax, when they fight the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and everyone is scared and running for their lives, he's apparently so stupid because they gave him the IQ of a baby that he goes and makes himself a sandwich, which is also a very negative, stereotypical portrayal of men in the media, which really needs to change. And my last piece of evidence for proving that this movie is a man-hating piece of shit is when they killed the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, they shot him in the balls. If this was truly everything they claimed it to be, why didn't they make Slimer a woman? Why didn't they make the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman? And if Hollywood's goals truly are, as I'm saying, if Hollywood really wants gender equality, here's an idea. Do a reverse gender Rule 63 version of The Shining. And when I say that, I don't mean the version that was based off the book. I mean the 1980 Stanley Kubrick version. And just like I said in the episode where I attacked Force Awakens, I'm coming for Star Wars Rogue One next. That's going to be the next live-action movie I'm going to tear to shreds. And expect to see it in a future installment in Sexism in Movies and TV.